Hello, everybody, and welcome to Law Dog Sports, the weekend big show. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you on a Thursday, as opposed to our usual Friday night. But with me, as usual, is Jeremy P. Schroeder, the outstanding tool. But anyway, he sent me a funny video earlier of, showing your lady friend a tool segment. But we are streaming live on Facebook at Law Dog Sports, and here before long, you'll be able to stream live with us on 3 different platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter X. And we will have that underway here. Probably at the beginning. I go by the fiscal calendar, Jeremy. So probably July 1 or something around there. We'll unveil the triple threat streaming platforms.
That's that would be the standard calendar. Fiscal is September to October.
Oh no, it's actually not. I'm sorry. I go by the municipal. That's where I'm going back.
Okay, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, you feds go November to
October, September to October.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things, Jeremy. I love technology. I'm kind of like Uncle or Napoleon's brother Kip. I still love technology, but man,
are you trained to be a cage fighter?
Yeah, most reflexes of all time. But I'm telling you, man, I am so perturbed with my recording software and the fact that it shuts down the volume tone every time you go to talk, and I don't understand why. I've used this program since 2014. Never had this problem before, and now all of a sudden it turns me down and then turns you way down, and I'm about to punch a hole through my monitor. So, but anyways, how have you been since? Well, I hate to ask you how you've been because I know how you've been. Last night.
I don't know. The Thunder underperformed in a game 3 in the playoffs. I didn't fall out of my chair because of it. I was pissed off, but that's been the trend in these playoffs, which is just stupid. I kind of get it. I think I get it.
Yeah.
You go into the other team's building. They have all that adrenaline, the crowd.
Oh yeah.
They lost by 42 in their first road game in the Minnesota series.
Now, 116 to 107 last night. It was down to the last really 2.5, 3 minutes to truly say, yeah, this one's probably going to go the way of the L. But I mean, the Minnesota thing, you had that 2-game cushion.
Mm-hmm.
You still held home serve. I mean,
I know.
I know that so game 4 in the Denver series, was that the one where they came back from 9 down?
It was.
Okay.
It was.
And here's the thing. Let's break it down first, and then we'll definitely get into we got stuff on tap today, and we want to thank anybody and everybody who will jump in. You can comment your comment on Facebook. Just comment it there and we'll add it to the screen. But we are on Facebook, and then this episode can be heard on our Spotify channel as well as our YouTube channel at Law Dog Sports. So I 116 to 107, you lead after the first quarter and the third quarter. Even numbered quarters have not been a friend to this team throughout this series necessarily, but really the way it went down late, I understood in the Minnesota game. We talked about it on Monday. The Minnesota game 3, you basically played two straight at home after you'd gone 7 with Denver. We knew there was an element of fatigue. Last night, they looked fatigued, but I don't know why. They had 2 games. I know they were big games, and I know it's a home surge, but man, to lose the way they did, Jeremy, to turn over the ball, 17 times, blocked 13 times, couldn't finish. J-Dub missed a wide open 2-handed slam. I mean, just silly stuff. SGA, he did look wasted, and they mentioned on some of the shows today about how many defenders they were throwing at him. That's usually a Thunder tactic, but I don't know. I'll revert back, and we've said this since the game 1 loss. You've tinkered with something that got you to 80 some wins. And why?
I don't understand. That the game they want, the best they've played is when Hartenstein's getting a lot of minutes. The 2 games they've lost this series, Hartenstein had 17 minutes and 18 minutes. The game they won, he played 21. I don't know. Maybe having a guy out there that can play make and actually grab a friggin' rebound in a big situation is the way to go.
Yeah.
Maybe I know I'm not as smart as Daignault and Presti, but I think him and Hartenstein and Caruso's minutes need to be about the same. Caruso played 32 minutes last night. Hartenstein played 18. Hartenstein needs to be on the floor.
Yeah. Well, another couple of points that I want to make is that, I think Carlisle just played it into his hands, knowing that he had the horses. He got big fourth quarters from Memhart and Neesmith.
And one thing Carlisle does better than anybody is make adjustments out of timeouts.
Sure.
Every time he called a micromanaging timeout last night, they come out and made a run. That first time out of the game, they were down 11 points. Next thing you know, that thing's tied up. They're ahead. He's like a witch out of timeouts. I mentioned it last night when we were tweeting back and forth. He's a witch after timeouts. He called that first timeout in the second half. They made a run. He's just he knows what buttons to push. He knows what levers to pull. And Daignault's not there yet.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely a team that is not going to get run out of the gym unless it's kind of like game 2 where they realize we're gonna regroup, and then their scrubs came in and kept the score from getting too out of hand. Where we saw last night was you've got Oklahoma City fighting back and taking a 6-point lead in the third quarter, and then leading by 8, I think, in the first. And 2 big questions I have. One, I know what my point was going to be. I was going to mention, I almost think Carlisle played possum with Miles
Turner
last night. I think there was a report he was a little under the weather. He didn't play good in the first half, but then he goes out and
has 9 points,
had 5
blocks rebounds too. Yeah,
I mean. And the Thunder, in their losses, man, it is just clear that they have trouble finishing at the hoop. I mean,
and what did I tell you about benches?
Oh, benches are huge.
What did I tell you about how they travel, though?
You did say that. You said benches don't travel.
Yeah, the bench, Minnesota's bench last night, 49 points from the bench last night for Minnesota. For 18 for Oklahoma City. And they played a bunch of dudes. And Isaiah Joe played 4 minutes last night.
Hit 2 threes.
2 for 2 from the field, 6 points.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. But I'll say this, and it didn't show up in his plus or minuses, but I thought Jalen Williams, where I was just criticizing about not finishing a dunk, he got to the line a lot. He pushed the issue a lot. He kept them in that game because they made a point last night that they weren't going to let, and it comes on the heels of Carlisle saying, chalk SGA in for 34 points per game before you even, get started. Well, they held him 10 below that.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, late, this Thunder team, I hope that's not a bug.
Yeah. SGA couldn't get to the line last night. That was what are you doing?
It's from the headset. Not a bug on me.
SGA only shot 6 free throws last night, that's a big deal. As many times as he gets in the paint, that is a big deal.
Yeah. Are you talking about in the fourth quarter?
For the game. I'm free throws, 5 of 6.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's not a lot. They were swallowing the whistle. They, Caruso gets drugged down and
by little Alex. Yes.
Yeah.
Caruso got dragged down by the Caruso.
Wait, which one? Who? It was Toppin, wasn't it?
Yeah. Grabbed his unmentionables and pulled him to the ground. I saw that replay. I'm like, that wasn't a flagrant.
Well, I'll tell you this,
that,
Jeremy.
We can do that.
In this series, I think any night that Lou Dort comes out and shoots the ball well, you can plan on the Thunder losing because
it seems like it.
I mean, he had 12 points, shot the ball well from outside. But like you said,
0 for 3 from inside the arc.
Yeah. But he did hit some threes, and that's the funny thing is Indiana outshot Oklahoma City 51-46, but 3-point wise, Indiana didn't have a big game, and a couple of their threes were just kind of those dagger threes that you think about. I mean,
they made more twos, Chuck.
Yeah, they did. And mid-range game and their point guard forced the issue. I'll say this, and this is just my one criticism about J-Dub and SGA in crunch time. You've got a big man like Chet Holmgren that is really developing before our eyes, being able to finish at the basket, being able to play off the ball and cause problems. The assist numbers were just almost despicable last night compared to the two teams. A bit of hero ball, as we see when they struggle, it's because it's been a bit of hero ball.
Let's see, we had 16 assists to 24.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's quite a discrepancy.
No
rebounded them.
No easy buckets. The backdoor cuts that worked in game 2 obviously got shut down.
I know, and I know you in your little old man world last night were squealing with glee when I said share the ball and get to the mid range, play your game.
Wow, you're already ageist against me. Wow.
It's my last day of not being 50, so I'm gonna get all the shots in I can.
Good for you. So you're gonna be 51? Is that what you're telling me?
I'll be 50 tomorrow.
Oh, well, their calls a celebration.
Nah, whatever.
Yeah, enjoy hell, pal.
Uh-huh.
I've been nursing the same strained back since Sunday, and wish I went out last night and at halftime just kind of half swung a golf club just to see the flexibility I had. And
you staying on the elliptical?
Yeah, it's moved right now, but yeah. I've been doing a little bit of that. Been walking quite a bit. We walk our dogs at night and stuff.
Good.
But no, welcome. Happy birthday tomorrow. And
a lot of spinal decompression, lay flat on your back with your legs elevated on top of the couch,
Yeah. We've got a big ottoman, and I saw something somewhere where if you lay with your calf perpendicular to the or your thigh perpendicular to the floor, and just kind of hug up against that ottoman, that'll really lower your hip flexors or your hip muscle, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But no, turnovers really, Jeremy, were the big key last night. And yeah, hit your buckets in the mid range, but SGA was the beneficiary of a few fouls down late, and then Richard Jefferson takes the opportunity to call him out for taking a little extra time on the floor, and he and Doris are just I had some hope for Richard after game 2, but now no.
Yeah, that was the Pacers had a bad third quarter, and the Thunder just doubled down and had a worse fourth quarter.
Yeah, and couldn't put the space between them, and
they just didn't play their game, which is just maddening when we're at like game 90 or 100 and something, and they don't fall back on their identity.
Well, and you just you're going to have to think about the missed opportunity in game 1 to have that 2-game cushion, and now and I do kind of feel like the Thunder will go out, and at least it won't be over with 4 minutes left, I guess. But
this team doesn't. They how do you put this? They have a short memory after losses, and they usually strike back.
Yeah, so they'll have to. But going forward, I mean, Carlisle has the benefit of and if you remember, Ben Mathurin, he was number 5 or 6 pick by the Pacers.
Yeah,
and they've utilized him. And if he gets another game like that through the finals, then it's going to be big issues.
Yeah. What was the guy's name? They have a 50-year-old that plays for them.
James Johnson, I think, or
no, not James Johnson. I'm trying because I was watching it when I was watching it last night before my YouTube TV decided to take a dump.
Are you talking about Shepard?
Yeah, Ben Shepard.
You know who he looks like? and this goes way back and maybe back further than you. At first glance, he reminds me of Michael Jackson, the point guard for Georgetown on the Patrick Ewing national championship team in '85.
Maybe he
84.
just changed his name and he's still playing.
Is Benjamin Button? Maybe we've got one of those, on our client list. But
sure.
Yeah, Shepard, 4 points for him, but he had let's see, I don't know, but I got to put my glasses on. My apologies.
I've got the box score here.
But Obi Toppin, if the barometer for that team in this series is going to be McConnell, Toppin, or now Matherin, because Siakam is just going to he's going to get what he gets. But then also, like I mentioned, the Neesmith and Nembhard, they hit big buckets down there and down the stretch, and it just was a killer.
I know. You think of guys that did not have good nights. I mean, Nembhard only took 5 shots, had 8 points. Same thing with Neesmith, 5 shots, 7 points. Didn't do a whole lot, didn't get too involved offensively, but they somehow find a way to make big shots down the stretch.
But it was Matherin in the fourth that really, really put the onus on him. And then, Caruso, I mean, what? McConnell had like an assist, a steal, and a bucket all within about 3 seconds. I mean,
Caruso had a terrible game last night.
Yeah. He's their lone lone player with championship experience.
Yep. And he wet the bed last night, did not play well.
Yeah.
I don't look to him play 32 minutes the next game. I also don't look for him to have another game like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of minutes. And,
I just wish I could pick up the phone and call Dagnall and said, "Why are you not playing my German brother, Isaiah Hartenstein?"
Yeah. That's a looming question. And if they don't finish this out, if they don't win a title, that's going to be questioned, a long time down the road. And I tell you what, Jeremy,
Jimmy D and the Straight Shots would have him on the next bus out of town.
He would. Introduce yourself, Shots. But no, I mean, we've talked about the window that this team has, and they are extremely young. But man, every team in the league is looking at getting better. I mean, they could make another couple of finals runs, but it's not going to be without some drama.
No, I mean, this could be the worst version of the Thunder we see for the next 5 years.
You have to hope, and then you have to hope that that their best versions are
I mean, they're
better than others.
Their main guy's 26, Dub's 23, Chet's 22, and I mean Dort's one of the old guys. He's been in the league a year longer than 30. Shea. Caruso's 30. Oh, and Kenny Hustle didn't play much last night, and he has had big minutes.
Well,
when he's played.
And that's the thing is, like, you didn't get a chance to see who was going to be the hot hand off the bench because Wiggins came in, and what he ended up playing, I forget.
10 minutes, 0 for 2, no points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know why he's a little hesitant to keep Joe out there, because it seems teams like to hunt him defensively. He's not quite up to the level as the rest. But
you know what? If they do, then they're not hunting out your MVP candidate defensively. Because what happened.
You know what? If Joe's on the floor and they are hunting him, he's got 6 fouls to give. Kid, squeeze every shot out of him you can for those 6 fouls. I'd rather him foul Siakam and live with the 1 or 2 from the line.
No and ones.
Yeah. No and ones. Just wrap them up.
Yeah. And but so going into game 4, it's a must win. Will Dagnall come to his senses, as we've said on here, and come back out with the Chet Hartenstein, regular lineup?
At this point, I don't care what the starting lineup is. I care who closes, because that seems to have been the issue. Go back to your closing lineup you had when you started the season, when you won 68 stinking games. A lot of 2 bigs. Just do your thing, Play in the post, get your mid-range, move the stinking ball. Don't play hero ball. Shea's going to do what he does, but the other guys need to be ready to move the dang basketball when it hits their hands. Unless there's no one within an area code of them, then by all means, fire that sucker at the rim.
Yeah. Well, offensive rebounds. I mean, they won that last night, but there were so many missed opportunities. I thought, you're not getting, 9 offensive rebounds out of 79 attempts or
That
half of
huge
those.
turnover there at the end of the game, where was it McConnell jumped out or knocked the inbounds pass up in the air and grabbed it and threw it
That's
off a
one.
case. And
That's what I was talking about earlier with McConnell.
you
He
know,
had an
his foot
assist.
was on the ground for a good 2 count before that ball came back in.
Yeah. Um, oh wait, are you talking about?
Yeah, he was clearly out of bounds. I don't
Well,
know
there's a
why.
backcourt against Siakam that should have been called, right?
Yeah, there was some goofy stuff going on
Yeah.
last night.
But still, if you hit your free throws at a better percentage,
Yeah, I know. It seemed like every time.
and don't turn and the thing is the Caruso turnover was terrible on the inbounds play, and they've got to be more aware of that. But then like the way they created turnovers in game 2, I mean, because if somebody drove to the bucket for the Pacers in game 2, somebody from behind was going to swipe it away or poke it out,
It didn't seem like there was that defensive intensity in the second half.
So I hope, rope-a-dope's great. And I know I throw that phrase out a lot, but man, if you had the lead coming out of the third quarter in that, and then you just, blow an engine in the fourth, that doesn't bode the phrase bode well. That's just
It's happened twice in this series.
Yeah. And it's pressure, it's pressure on game 4. And God forbid you drop that one, because, then you got to win 3 straight.
Yeah. That's how 7-game series works when you go down 3-1.
I know. Why are you?
Hey, you can't win in 6 unless you lose 2.
Why are you the way you are?
Because I'm grouchy.
Yeah, rough night, and I felt it for you, buddy. And I am rooting for the Thunder in this. I let me ask you this: 2 questions. The mothership and media in general, in my opinion, and see if you feel the same, favors the Eastern Conference.
Well, yeah, they're in the Eastern time zone.
Yeah, and small market. Now to back that up, last year's champion came from the East. This year's champion could come from the East.
Sure,
but the Eastern Conference does get beat up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the least, can't call it they don't have an AFC, NFC, but
they don't have it's not a strong conference top to bottom.
No, but the top is apparently teams that can play with anybody.
Apparently not. They're not. I mean, what was Indiana, the 4 seed?
Well, I mean, I'm talking when I say top, I'm talking 4 and up. Yeah. I mean, to prove a point, I'm just trying to say that, if OKC can't come back and close this out, then every year that the number 1 seed in the West has a great record against the East, what is it going to matter?
It won't.
Yeah.
And what's the the West is a meat grinder. Outside of Oklahoma City, every team was within 2 games of each other all the way down to number 11.
Sure.
It's it's the most talented side, but then Indiana's on a generational heater right now.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 5 and coaching mismatch, Carlisle versus Daignault, a 1 being no mismatch at all, and a 5 being, all signs point to Carlisle, what would you call this series?
What do you mean? Oh, this series?
Coaching.
If you want to say coaching mismatch, it's all the way to 5. Just because Carlisle, he's been there. He's done this. He's lost finals. He's won a finals. He's been around.
Criticism too. I mean, he's not perfect in the finals,
but he's a really good coach.
He is. Yeah.
There's a lot of great coaches that haven't won the finals. Hell, Phil Jackson lost the finals. Everyone seems to think he's great, even though he had the most talent of any coach that's ever, outside of Red Auerbach, has ever
pulverized by the Pistons. That's for sure.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, talent-wise, it's a mismatch going to the Thunder, but pushing buttons and pulling levers, man, Carlisle, he's doing it. He's doing it at a much higher level than Daignault is. And Daignault finally won a challenge last night. That was a win. I couldn't believe that.
That was a pretty easy challenge to win. It was a shame that they even
It
had to
was
go
so
there.
easy to, yeah, it was so easy. Like, why is this even a challenge? How could this not be overturned by the ref that's standing right there?
Yeah, it was a shame. It was a shame. But I remember thinking, man, you got to waste a. Of course, if you get that challenge, you still have a challenge, right?
Right.
Yeah. We're streaming live on Facebook. This is the Weekend Big Show powered by Law Dog Sports. I see some viewers on here. Be sure and give us a comment there on the Facebook live video, and we will post your comment here on the program. Game 4 must win for the Thunder. It's at, I keep wanting to say Market Square Arena. That's where I go back to. Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
And it is going to be a rocking place again. Any credo to the Caitlin Clark stat that they're 8-0 when she's at the games?
I believe a couple guys from Oklahoma City are going to lure her away from the arena.
Like lure, like
Angel Reese is gonna break her kneecap in the parking lot.
Why?
Why?
Oh gosh, yeah. It's funny you say that. Angel Reese came to mind when I thought, man, who could we counter that with? Have Angel Reese sitting.
No, thank you.
I saw the Crypt Keeper was at the game last night, and then I saw an article by Barstool Sports
Jimmy
talking about him today.
Goldstein.
Yeah, the story I heard was they used his mansion in California to film scenes from the Big Lebowski.
Yeah. You know he smells just like he looks.
Oh, so yeah. So do you think he's full blown Howard Hughes, like urinating in mason jars?
He must be. Probably potted plants.
He said he loves Oklahoma City. Say he loves coming to see a game in Oklahoma City, but
no, it's a great arena. It's a great atmosphere.
Yeah,
people get nuts there.
For 12 years ago? No, 13 years ago. Lil Wayne smelled badly too, and he came to the finals.
Little skunky,
little musty, and like
kind
of like a wet dog, and weed. Wet
yeah,
dog.
that's what it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He smelled like let's just say he smelled like bong water.
Smelled like Indonesia.
Oh gosh. Well, I really hope the Thunder do bounce back and get the win and make this a series in their favor again. Look who's checking in here. Cameron Hall. Ricky Bright was talking about Goldstein the other day. Been a few years. Yeah, that guy.
And let me, before we move on to comments, I feel more confident about game 4 than I did about yesterday's game. And I felt confident about yesterday's game, but then I remembered, like, wait a second, they've only won one game 3 in these playoffs, and that
was when John Morant got hurt.
Yeah, they were down 22 in that game. Yeah. And they lost in Denver, they lost bigly in Minnesota. So,
but the thing about it was
rebounds.
The game 3 in Denver. Remember, that was the one that they had won until Aaron Gordon left alone outside. Are you happier with the perimeter defense on this series than before?
Outside of game 1, yes, they are. They're doing a better job. Yes, it's going, Steve. Yeah, they've been closing out a lot better, really affecting shots from the outside. They're keeping them. I think they hit 9 threes last night. Yeah, 9 of 27. Yeah. So they have 33%. Much better. You got to contest those threes. You'll live with giving up 116 points when your average is higher than that. They just got to hit their average. They got to play better in the fourth. They got to close games.
If SGA gets his average in the playoffs, then that's probably a win last night. So
yeah, maybe. If every time Jalen Williams went to the free throw line, it seemed like it was a big spot to extend or keep it down to one possession, and he would miss one of his free throws.
Yeah. Well, game 4 will be exciting tomorrow night, and I don't know. I may try to figure out a way to sync up ESPN radio with my TV or something, because
just turn the sound off.
And I'm pretty tired of Breen too. I mean, he's kind of fallen in with them, and Doris is awful. RJ's been awful, and now they're making Breen awful.
You don't drink the punch if there's a turd in the punch bowl, do you?
You wouldn't think so.
No. It kind of, that's one bad apple does spoil the bunch.
It does.
In
It's
some
bad.
cases.
Well, U.S. Open going on as earlier today, finished up. I was watching that on the YouTube multi-view. Real quick, back before I jump to golf, did you see my tweet about I asked Grok about our pencil neck person in LI?
How much he
No,
hates
he's in
Oklahoma.
Chicago now.
He's in Chicago. He's in the Windy
Yeah.
City now.
Did you read the whole thing that Grok responded?
Let's
me
see.
no.
He probably tagged me in it. Oh, I did, but man, come on.
Well,
I've had two little furry demons in my house all day.
Yeah, Grandpa.
And I was so
Grandpa
hung up on
Dog
the
stuff.
Ed Orgeron tweet.
Yeah.
Here we go. Come on down, get his boudin. Go
the Colonel Reb is crying and
yes, Coach O rips his shirt off. Football.
But anyways, they I just did an experiment on Twitter, and I asked Grok, which is the AI answer bot for X. And I just said, Grok, you know what? Why is Colin Cowherd, frequently critical or talks down about Oklahoma sports? And first, it gave me one about OU, and I thought, no, I want all sports in Oklahoma. And they basically threw it out under the bridge that it was all about clickbait merchanting, and that is exactly about right. And today I knew here, full transparency, I listened to it sporadically because the station that I work for in Weatherford is a Fox Sports affiliate and they're on. So I'll catch it. And I really haven't listened to the big station in Oklahoma City in a while.
Yeah.
Actually heard it the other day. We were in Yukon coming home and I listened to 30 minutes of it, and it was just Al talking about a diet he was on. Consists of 25 Fritos, blueberries, and beer and wine. Yeah, compelling radio.
After that trip to Costa Rica.
Yeah, he's going to Thailand, and
oh my God.
Yeah. But anyways, so Grok basically spelled it out. LOU football. He likes to gig the passionate fan base about the Lincoln Riley deal, but OKC Thunder, he was critical of Westbrook. Didn't really mention about now, but here's the thing, Jeremy, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has taken a lot of criticism online from opposing fan bases and even from some media. I mean, for Doris to be throwing out anything about foul merchant is bull.
She's a high-speed idiot.
She really is.
Just don't get caught up in social media. The least educated, least ball-knowing individuals are getting on social media and just, throwing these things out there, and they start a narrative, and then more and more of these idiots start picking that narrative up. Hell, OKC was on national TV, like twice this year?
Yeah.
You don't know. You haven't watched the games.
No.
The guy's been fantastic. This is the reason why he's the MVP.
Yeah. And ask yourself this. If he were doing this and if they were in the exact same position that he is in now, entering game 4 of a finals, having a finals MVP award, having a regular season MVP award, whatever you want to call it, and was a Clipper.
Oh my God.
Oh
my God,
the SGA fatigue would be outrageous.
You don't even know. I mean, they would be spray painting over murals of LeBron in the greater LA area and putting him up.
Yep.
Just because that's what our media does. That's what our sports media does. Oh, you're such a bright star. You got to be in the biggest spot.
Yeah. Well, but that's why I asked the question earlier. The mothership is obviously Eastern Conference biased in most every sport. They closed down their shop in LA. So now, other than LeBron, they won't have much to talk about in the Western time zone. Hockey, we're in the Stanley Cup finals. It's on TNT, but I'm sure if it was on the mothership, all signs would point straight to Florida once again.
Sure.
Fox is Fox is pretty much West Coast biased, but man, they cut it off at the Mountain Time Zone. I
Yep.
mean, there's nothing west of Palm Springs that gets any coverage on Fox. But I don't know. I just you know what I miss? I miss the days, and I never had Direct TV, but a friend of mine did. I miss the days of all the different Fox Sports regions. Fox Sports St. Louis, Fox Sports Southwest,
Totally.
Fox Sports Detroit. Life was so much better then.
Man, you don't know how many nights I sat there and watched Antonio Daniels on Fox Sports Oklahoma after a Thunder game and would want to just run through a wall. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that guy needs to be the next head coach of Oklahoma City. Now he's the color guy for the Pelicans.
Yeah.
But they had a fantastic they did a great job covering the Thunder. And it was nice. You had your own little region. You get on there and it's like this greatest team ever, hey. But
it's
they're biased.
Kids today will never know.
It was cool. And then they sold out the Bally's, and Bally's is a big steaming pile of crap.
Yeah. I will say this. I've been doing some exploring on Roku, and Roku Sports, Roku TV has a lot of different sports options. And, I'll be checking out some more stuff. And like Fastcast has their baseball rewind that you can watch now since YouTube TV took away the MLB network from us. But it's just, I want to see, I want, and here's the thing. And I know it's because they lost last night, but screw Reggie Miller. You're telling me that I don't know.
Played for a franchise for 21 years and is still a fan of the franchise. All right.
Exactly. Spare me. Go have some dignity. Anyways, I tagged. I commented on a Gabe Eichard post yesterday. Just try to be mean. He tagged Pat McAfee and said, "Where's a place to eat in Indiana or something like that?" And I commented, I said, have some dignity. And I said, right, SVP? Hey, you get me. I mean, that's the thing. It's like it was total humor, but misplaced. All right. So as I mentioned, U.S. Open going on started today. The leaderboard is not necessarily names that just jump off the page at you, but I think you did mention Brooks Koepka.
Koepka's at 2 under. He's 2 shots back. You got JJ Spawn in the lead. Trevor Lawrence. No, that can't be Trevor Lawrence.
Not the same Trevor.
Tristan Lawrence from where's he from? I don't know. I don't recognize that flag. Siwoo Kim from South Korea is tied for third at 2 under with Koepka.
Hey, your favorite tight end and his pop star girlfriend are at the Oilers Panthers game tonight. And they just got
so tired of that.
Big exposure there. Yeah. As I mentioned, I watched the last threesome that they were showing. Hovland, Morikawa, and Scheffler, and they all struggled with 17, and then they all did pretty well on 18. But Hovland, the OSU alum, man, he hit a great shot out of a bunker that the announcers were saying, yeah, he's probably gonna have to chop out of there. And he just went for the green and got there, and then just drained an amazing, probably about a 20-foot putt with a big right break to it. I mean, he nailed it. But anyway, so Dan Narva checking in. Let's see what Dano has to say. Quick howdy, guys, from camping. Just tuned in after the Tigers, just barely on the grid. Off the grid's not a bad thing this time of year.
Sure.
What's your favorite? You and your family, what's y'all's favorite vacation? Is it traveling to visit family? Is it going something outdoorsy? Is it an event?
You talking to me?
Well, I mean, y'all have traveled in the past, right?
Yeah. My wife's not the outdoorsy type. We've been to Disney a few times. That's
went to Comic-Con.
Oh yeah. That was the Emerald City Comic-Con. That was fun. They're going to San Diego this summer. I'm unable to procure the week and a half off.
Is that backwards? Are you seeing that backwards?
It's mirrored, yeah.
What the hell? It's supposed to be straight.
I think I don't know.
I hate technology.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where I got my Brian Bosworth pop. I pull it down, but it's it's
Oh yeah.
right up there somewhere
Are they
on the
never supposed to be pulled out of the box?
Nah, it kills the value.
Okay. Well, the Baker Mayfield one hopefully will hold some value. I might need it someday. But I'll probably check in a little more on the US Open tomorrow. And then right now the Stanley Cup is about to go 3-1 as I mean it's first quarter, but
Period.
Edmonton's down 3-0.
They played 3 periods, man.
Yeah, I mean in game 1 they came back from 4 down or 3 down, I think. But
Speaking of quarters and segueing into college basketball for just a brief second,
I know where you're
the
going.
NCAA has gained traction to make men's college basketball a 4-quarter event.
You know what's really stupid, Jeremy, is if you go to like SWASU Bulldogs, like you have sporting today, and watch a girls' game, which is 4 quarters.
Uh-huh.
And then directly afterwards, you know, especially in conference, is the men's game with 2 halves.
20, yeah.
And it's just, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't get it. They should not have ever done that. They should just go straight NBA rules.
Yeah, I mean
48 minutes,
here's my
12-minute quarters.
And I say this for all sports: make the rules universal from top to bottom. You know?
Especially for those of us that get irritated when we're watching a men's college basketball game and it's like, okay, we're at the first media timeout. Oh, for God's sake.
Early third quarter.
Oh my God. Just go to quarters. Those timeouts are built in.
Yeah. And I tell you, the times that I have that I've done play-by-play for college, for D2 college basketball, the media timeouts, I'm not to the point where I can really follow, you know, like, oh yeah, that's what this one is. So
they have a guy that comes out with an oven mitt and stands there.
They should. I mean, football, you know. So, anyways, but so we covered game 4. We covered Pencil Neck and his slant for his engagement for Sooner Nation and Thunder Nation and US. I think we were going to talk about revenue sharing. And so OU released today the sports that they will involve the revenue sharing. It was football, men's and women's basketball, softball, baseball, and
football, men's and women's basketball, softball, baseball, gymnastics.
Yeah. Having called games for a kid who is actually 2 kids. Well, I didn't call games for. I think Ethan Downs' wife was a rower for OU this last season, and another girl from Weatherford, Kennedy Stewart, was on the rowing team this past season, and so they'll still get scholarships, right?
Yes, they'll still get scholarships. They just won't. I mean, they'll get their NIL from collectives. Yeah, they won't be involved in the revenue sharing. Which, let's face it, they're all just suckling at the teat of football.
Yeah. What's OU's revenue sharing budget?
$20.5 million, like everyone else.
But okay, so when they're talking about Texas Tech, they're talking about their NIL collective.
That's their NIL collective
in the 50s,
and they're trying. Yes.
Okay.
And they're trying to put some guardrails on that too.
Cody Campbell will make sure they don't.
Well, they're going to have to, because it's not sustainable the way they're doing it. Cody Campbell's money is going to run out eventually.
That's kind of what I thought. I mean,
if T. Boone Pickens' money ran out, Cody Campbell's money is going to run out.
I was going to say, when you sell off a big business, because that
money's finite.
It is finite, and unless you've got something else going on that brings it in, I've known a handful of people in my life that were very successful in business. You build a business, you sell it for a huge amount, and then but here's the thing: the buyers can always just screw you, and then you got to take them to court. I mean,
sure.
I don't know if that's the case with Cody Campbell at all, but like you said, money money is finite, and unless you're just keep hustling and bring it in, but he is a big name in, and like the SMU NIL collective. Are they going to start, pushing their chest out a little bit? We've heard about it, but I don't hear.
Those guys are so used to being in the shadows, since before the death penalty.
They're not sure how to.
They're not sure what to do. Wait, you mean this is all legal? Yeah, no,
like
we're good. Just we don't want
redemption. This new world is
we don't exist.
Well, I don't know. It's just it's a situation where football. Here's the thing: football's going to pull the largest chunk of that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and I guess just at my age and the way things have been my whole life. So will it be a situation where, okay, every player is going to get this amount, or is it going to be offset?
No, it will be offset. And I know the way OU is doing it is they are putting the priority on trench guys, O-line, D-line, quarterback. Because as we've discussed on this show before, man, you can go down to Central West Texas and find someone that's 6 foot that runs about a 4.4 that can catch a football. They're running around all over the place.
I get receivers, and I get that, probably out of all positions, probably the two positions that diamonds in the rough have been found would be your receivers and your running backs.
Sure.
Now, when there are, I would say, generational talents, Bijan Robinson would be one.
Now, I'm sure that if they had a generational talent on the hook that had interest, then that would probably be expanded.
So in the Stoops Venables defense, in the Venables defense, is he more apt to look for linebackers that he can mold into what he wants?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And, edge guys, they want a lot of versatility out. They want edge guys that can also play, linebackers. That,
a little bit of coverage.
That are, versatile. But, you got in the SEC and in college football today, SEC let's just call it what it is, the SEC and the Big Ten, you got to be good up front, both sides of the football. And that's what they're prioritizing right now.
Well, and your pass rush is cause and effect. It's going to help your secondary.
Sure. Yeah, you can you can affect a passer. It makes your secondary that much better. Now they're going to get good guys in the secondary. Valai's a good recruiter. He's pulling guys in. They've got good safeties on campus. They're going to have good safeties in the future coming in recruiting classes. But the majority of what they're going to spend that money on are them big boys.
So now, who do we know? What do we know about next year's payroll? Who's going to be getting the bulk share of it? The lineman?
Probably. That's my impression.
Mateer
he's on the hook for what, $3 million?
Wow.
Yeah. To play college football. It's not a gold Trans Am, but
no,
it's something.
Well, gold Trans Am. Well, our friend Connor Carr, made sure to point out a brilliant quote by John Calipari, which he tagged both of us in. And when I think about it, he's not wrong. Let me find the quote and we'll read it. You just
want to shoot the messenger. I get it.
John Calipari, his quote, they were 26, 27-year-old players playing against 18-year-old players. Now, what is it? I forget the context. Let's see. Where am I looking here?
Is this about their NCAA tournament loss?
I think so.
And they played a mid-major team that had a group of guys that have been together forever.
Mm-hmm. If it's about money, I'm not going to pay you more. I got a locker room. I can't have one guy making 3 times what everybody else in the locker room does. We're not going to do that to any of these kids. And then he says, talking about the loss, there were 26, 27-year-old players playing against 18-year-olds. I look at a kid, he's waving to his wife and their kids in the stands, and it was the second wife. He was using the NIL for alimony for the first one. So
it does seem like we could get there.
Yeah, I mean, and once again, and I you know what, I'm not even going to say it because anybody that watches this program with any regularity knows what I'm going to say right now.
Mid-range jumpers.
Exactly. Defense wins championships. No, farm league, NFL farm league.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I agree that the NFL should be put on the hook for some of this.
So wrestling will in effect probably be gone. I mean,
in the SEC, it's not even a blip on the radar in the SEC.
No.
I think OU and Missouri are the only two SEC schools that have a wrestling team, and they both wrestle in the Big 12.
Yeah.
So it sucks, but the way that college sports is now, contraction may be necessary.
20-team Premier League, buddy.
I'm talking about contraction of the number of sports you have, which
yeah.
could lead to a reworking of Title IX.
Well, and that was another thing that I saw brought up was every one of the lawsuits that will in effect be lodged when all this comes down.
And what about the golfers?
Oh, wait,
they all come for money. It doesn't mean much to them.
Well, true, but I mean, if it's a primo golfer,
oh yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
Collective's going to have to, pick up the slack on that.
I guess that's where it comes in.
Goose!
You get the collective to jump in and pick up the pieces, so to speak. But
yeah, because those guys they get like half scholar. They get like books or tuition. It's not both.
Jeremy, 14 years ago today, LeBron had a memorable post-game speech after being eliminated in the finals. That would be the Dallas finals, I believe.
Was that the short shorts and his man bag?
I don't know, but he's in a suit. And
yeah, I think he had short shorts on with the suit.
Oh, okay. It says all the people who are rooting for me to fail at the end of the day, they have to wake up tomorrow and have the same life that they had before they woke up today.
What a D-bag. Yeah, what a D-bag.
Yeah, he's our generation's GOAT had some character flaws. He didn't vocalize them like this douchebag.
No. Our generation's GOAT was a degenerate gambler. He'd go play 36 holes and drink beer all day and then go out and put 50 on your forehead in a playoff game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jordan is the GOAT.
Did you see the sketch on Saturday Night Live where they recreated the Michael Jordan? Michael, I gotta have my pants. Hey, real quick, I want to thank a sponsor of ours, CCW Safe, and what they are is they are a legal protection entity, and we'll go into more information. But in essence, CCW Safe offers memberships, and we'll have more details as things come along. But there's a link attached to this Facebook description, and if you are a concealed carry type, if you carry a firearm to protect your family, in Oklahoma it's open carry, so you don't even have to have the concealed carry permit. Some do, just so that they have it. But it's also a situation where you could, in this day and time in the court system, you could be prosecuted for simply defending yourself or your family. And CCW Safe is a great program to have with regards to what is out there to protect yourself. And actually, here is the link. As try to pull this up. Hopefully, it'll pull up. There we go. Here's the link, CCW Safe, and they were started by three guys, and two of them are good friends of mine, and one was a brother of one of the good friends of mine. But great guys. They were former OCPD that helped start that program. And CCW Safe is a great service to subscribe to. And if you go to that link there to subscribe to them, you're helping us also, because we are an affiliate and and a proponent of CCW Safe. So check that out. We'll have more information on the Facebook page and the website before too long. And like I said, I know for a fact that they helped with the representation of a guy who was charged in murder or homicide back several years back in North Carolina, I think it was, or somewhere on the Eastern Seaboard. And I'm sure he was very thankful he had the service. But check them out, ccwsafe.com, and the affiliate number is there on the link on the Facebook post comment. So anyways, we will not be on the air tomorrow, Jeremy, since we came on tonight, but that will give you time to prep for game 4. And regardless, they're coming back to Oklahoma City on Sunday.
Yep, they are coming back to Oklahoma City. Tomorrow will be the last game I'll get to watch, so I got to go back to work Sunday.
Dang.
I am going to be a basket case Sunday. It's just not fair.
Yeah, they'll be in town, so whatever happens tomorrow night, there will be a crowd at Will Rogers World Airport to welcome them back to Oklahoma City, as they always do.
And Chuck will be there. Don't let him lie to you.
I'm gonna play curmudgeon and just let everybody know how I used to detest having to deal with that. I can't tell you how many times I had to stay and work late because that was going to be a thing. I'm ready to go home, get in bed, and then I have to be out there by the AAR building at Will Rogers World Airport, making sure idiots don't jump up or don't climb up on a big 14-foot podium and fall over. And heaven forbid they fell over into the secure area. That would have been a full federal offense.
That would be.
Yeah. So, and also mentioned that I noticed the other day, hey, if you want some, if you have questions about the flying process, just find Jeremy on Twitter. He will be glad to help you out. And
just helping a fellow Thunder fan out who was in a bad way,
helping somebody out who they had not gotten around to get their real ID.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? I didn't beat him over the head with the fact that 2005, the Real ID Act was passed. 2019, yeah, it was 05.
Wow.
2019, they began delaying it. What have you been doing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all but 2 states you've had to renew your driver's license. Heck, I've renewed mine twice and finally got it done.
I think mine's coming up this year.
Yeah. Do you have your Real ID, Chuck?
I do.
Oh, good for you. Look at you.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah. Now, I don't, I don't let many other people know where I live. So,
yeah, well, I mean, they are, the people that want that information already know where you are, anyways.
That's true. Anyways, well, we'll be rooting for the Thunder in Game 4 tomorrow. Somebody's got to lose their first Game 4 of this playoff series tomorrow night, and hopefully it's.
And it won't be OKC. Oh,
yeah. So we'll hope for that. And so then also we'll be paying attention to the U.S. Open. Now, they play on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to try to do a recap show, you'll be working Sunday, as you mentioned, but I don't know. We'll talk about it and see about.
I won't get off till at the earliest 9 p.m. Sunday.
Ooh, you.
Yeah, they changed my schedule on me when I was on vacation.
Bastards.
I know. It's like, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks a lot. All right. Well, let's get out of here. And he is Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. And buddy, when I say that, it's not just hyperbole. He is the ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our Spotify channel. Listen to the podcast or the videos here with us, and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter X. Jeremy, should I get us back on TikTok?
You should definitely get us back on TikTok.
You think?
Yeah, I still look at the TikToks. I want to see TikToks all the time, and I can't because there's no account.
But would TikTok help us is my question.
Sure. All the kids are on TikTok.
All the kids. All right. Well, we do want to promote our sponsor, CCW Safe, and check them out, ccwsafe.com, with the link number that benefits us if you do look into it and want to try out a membership.
If you're going to carry, guys, protect yourself. No one else is going to.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of fall back on the retired police officer card that I carry, but I'm glad that I'm in affiliation with them because, you just don't know in this world.
I've carried for years, and it's always nice to, I'm not going to do anything stupid, but
no,
if something does happen, Hey,
and that's the thing. If you're doing something stupid, they got nothing for you.
yeah.
You know, if you're being an
If you're
idiot,
negligent
your
discharge into
negligence is
somebody's
negligence.
car, you're probably screwed anyways.
That's right. Well, we're going to get out of here, but we'll be rooting for the Thunder in Game 4. Hopefully, they can tie it up at 2 apiece, bring it back to OKC, take a 3-2 lead, and then look into closing it out in Game 6 and fulfilling a lot of prophecy going along the way. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. He's Jeremy Schroeder. We are Law Dog Sports, the Weekend Big Show. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. And we'll talk to you next week.